Dustin Lee Frazier uploaded an intriguing video on March 19, 2024, detailing his encounters with bizarre occurrences at a hotel in the Appalachian Mountains. As he wandered the building's hallways, seconds after recording started, eerie sounds emerged. Because, honestly, it's terrifying, so guys. I just Snapchatted. My friend right. And I walked through I was. And now the alarm's going off. Haha. So I walked through I was walking through here. And whenever you get right here, you can see something behind me. And I watched it I did a playback One of the hotel's alarms can be blaring for no apparent reason, much to the confusion and terror of Dustin. He then turns the alarm off for the kitchen and says that there is a spot in the area in which he can see something behind him, but only in that one spot. He says that it was noticeable in the following Snapchat video that he sent to a friend. Watch this. I don't know, I just I feel like I need to go to the doctor. I'm constantly just nauseous. And I don't really know why. I have tried to take medicine for it and stuff. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like it really does. Surely enough, if you look right behind Dustin at this point of the video, you can see an absolutely terrifying figure directly behind him. With a scary face, it can then be heard whispering something that is hard to understand. Medicine for it and stuff, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it really does anything. And then whenever In the second video that Dustin made, you can see the exact same figure appear once again, but this time in a different location. Dustin is walking around while at the job, still very shaken about what happened last time for obvious reasons. But when he walks into the room here, you can see the entity appear in the mirror. Look at this. But the terror doesn't end there, because about 30 seconds later, after Dustin opens the door that leads down a long corridor, you can see this appear as well. Is it possible that this is the exact same figure that's lurking around the building, or is there multiple regardless of how many? Why? Is this figure targeting Dustin for just doing his job? Is the figure trying to harm him? I think it would be in Dustin's best interest to get a new job before something horrible happens. April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason uploaded a video to his channel, Trackers, in which he recorded footage of his solo overnight trip to the mountains. His channel is dedicated to all things outdoors, in which Jason frequently uploads videos of his adventures, camping, and surviving in the woods. In this particular video, his hike up to the mountain is pretty uneventful. As soon as he arrives at the campsite, Jason begins setting up and shows his viewers how he starts a fire. As the sun begins to set, as he waits for the day to end, he tries his luck at spoon carving, and this is when he reports hearing a strange sound from the top of one of the mountains, but he writes it off as a bird or some other small animal, and continues setting up for the night. At about 9 o'clock, He turns his camera off. Less than an hour later, he wakes up to a strange sound that he's never heard before in his life. He mentions it sounded like some sort of guttural animal call, but because it came from pretty far away, he couldn't identify what it was. I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig. Some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig and ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life. Still shaking after the rude awakening, he tries to go back to bed. But just a few hours later, at around he wakes up to what he describes as the sound of something or someone circling his 10. Whatever it is, it's close. Hear that? Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter. If you look closely, at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the reflection of what appears to be 1 or 2 sets of eyes as he pans his flashlight over them. Although there are many animals with eyes that reflect light. At night, based on the fiery white color of the reflection, it's very likely that Jason was being observed by coyotes. Dogs' eyes will also give off a white reflection. But considering that it was around when this happened, it's unlikely that a dog would be walking around so close to his campsite. Coyote and wolf attacks on humans as both species tend to avoid human contact. They can still become very aggressive if they feel threatened, especially if they have pups nearby. If this were the case, Jason would be in grave danger. He doesn't even seem to notice the eyes as he scans the area with his flashlight. Luckily, he went back and slept safely through the night. When he woke up the next morning, he recorded another update for his viewers, but he never mentioned the eyes that his camera captured the night before, suggesting he might have never noticed. After this video, there were no additional updates on the incident. Imagine you're just trying to enjoy a peaceful night while on a cruise ship, only for the night to be interrupted by the arrival of a seemingly otherworldly guest that was definitely not invited. That seems to be what happened to the people on this cruise, as shown by a Reddit user known as Tasty Beverage, who posted the following piece of footage to the UFO, separated just a couple of weeks ago. He says the footage is not his but rather from New Fork. The upload also writes that the video from the New Fork website has audio of the witnesses' reactions, but it somehow got stripped when he uploaded the video. Here, in the morning, witnesses can be heard saying, more or less, that they guarded, referring to being able to capture the strange UFO-type object. On camera, a second person can be heard getting excited when it doubles back. So what do you guys think about this strange video? Do you think that this footage truly shows authentic, videographic evidence of the existence of UFOs? Or is the video just not good enough to convince you? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In case you guys weren't on the internet these past few days, a solar eclipse occurred on April 8th, 2024. That was visible across a band, covering parts of North America, from Mexico to Canada, and crossing the United States. A solar eclipse happens when the moon obscures the sun by passing between Earth and the sun. When the apparent diameter of the moon is greater than that of the sun, total solar eclipse takes place, obstructing all direct sunlight. Only a small portion of the Earth's surface experiences totality with the partially eclipsed sun visible over a wider area. The apparent diameter of the moon was 5.5 greater than the mean, just 4 miles north of the Mexican town of Nasos. Durango, the eclipse's longest period of totality, lasted 4 minutes and 28.13 seconds with a magnitude of 1.0566. However, the solar eclipse that day wasn't the only interesting thing happening in the sky that day, as it turns out, as evidenced by this strange TikTok video posted by youth known as the Donst X. In the video, we see the uploader trying to point his camera toward the sky, doing his best to capture the breathtaking solar eclipse occurring. However, in doing so, the man ended up filming something much more unexpected and shocking. Take a look. Bro, look, there's something flying through the air. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Yo, what the aliens? Aliens, yo. Out of nowhere, something strongly resembling a UFO can be seen flying rapidly in the clouds for about 1 second before it disappears within the clouds, while stunned people on the ground can be heard saying, "What is that?" Even if this doesn't turn out to be UFO, there's no doubt in my mind that this video is real, especially judging by the chorus of reactions from the street. Tons of people can be heard talking about the object just a few seconds after it flies by in the sky, which would certainly be hard to fake in a video like this one. But what do you guys think was going on here? Do you think it's possible that a UFO was flying around at the exact same time as the solar eclipse? If you think so, do you think the alien life forms did this on purpose? I'm curious as always to hear your thoughts. Roadie is a channel dedicated to off-the-grid in which the uploader usually posts videos about what life is like of his truck and traveling around the country. The videos are usually pretty with an emphasis on the beauty of nature, independent living. But this particular video is a bit more disturbing than the rest. In December 2017, Roadie uploaded footage of an incident earlier that year while he was car camping in a parking lot. At around 1:00 a.m., a hooded man started walking around his truck and taking pictures of his license plates. Because the back of the truck where the uploader was pretty much pitch black, the man probably didn't see anyone and continued to suspiciously walk around for several minutes unaware that he was being recorded. After a while, the man makes his way to the side and tries to shine the flashlight inside, which is when the uploader decides to protect himself and let the man know he's there. Immediately after, the uploader bangs his fist on the inside of the suspicious man runs away. It's unclear what exactly he planned to do, but based on his behavior, it couldn't have been anything good, and he was probably planning a carjacking. Fortunately, the uploader was able to get away safely elsewhere. Gary and Amica are a father-daughter duo who make videos about their travels in their caravan. The videos are usually pretty wholesome and entertaining, but in this particular video, Gary and Amica had a pretty disturbing encounter. This footage was uploaded in March of 2023 during a trip to Tensmere Forest in North Scotland as they were walking through the woods. Amica told her dad she heard voices somewhere, and after searching for a while, this is what they found. "We just stopped out looking these woods. Look how scary that is. Put the torch on. He's even more on the ladders. Oh, there's someone lying on the ground falling over. Look at the one on the ladders going up the tree. Oh yeah, that's... What about the washing line over there to the left? There, keep it there. That is weird, isn't it?" In addition to dozens of creepy mannequins dressed up in costumes, they came across some pretty unsettling paintings hanging outside the little cabin in the middle of the woods. I did some research and found several other channels that featured the strange cabin, but the only information I could find was the paintings were probably set up some point in 2021. It's unknown what exactly the purpose of all this is, but whoever set it up clearly went through a lot to make it as creepy as possible. As Gary and Amica make their way, a car starts to approach them from the other side. Gary starts to get a little freaked out. Fortunately, they were able to make it back without having to cross the car's path. As of this video's uploaded, there have been no further updates on the creepy discovery. Most campers will say they're more afraid of running into intentioned people rather than aggressive animals on their camping trips. And this footage is the perfect example of why. Love Sundays is a channel run by a man named Sean, videos of his solo camping adventures in a video he uploaded. In September 2022, he shows what happened when he camped on the side of the road in Cornwall. Technically, he wasn't supposed to be camping due to parking regulations, so he made every effort to make it seem less obvious he would be spending on the side of the road. Before the sun sets, he goes into his van and starts making as little noise as possible to avoid unwanted attention. At around 9 p.m., he turns off the lights and goes to bed. Everything seems to be going just fine. At around 2 o'clock, Sean's night takes a pretty unsettling turn. I just heard something outside. Okay, I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van. It was just a knock, and they were trying to handle. It's not uncommon for solo campers to be asked to move in the middle of the night, especially when you park somewhere you're not supposed to be. But in this case, it's highly unlikely that this was a police officer or some other person with the authority to tell him to move. In these cases, they would almost always announce themselves verbally. Once they have your attention, they'll ask you to leave, but they won't just walk up to a van on the side of the road and start trying the door without announcing their intentions. It's much more likely that someone trying to break into Sean's van. Luckily, whoever was trying to break left after only a few seconds, and Sean wasn't bothered by them. These kinds of encounters can be extremely disturbing. But luckily, Sean woke up the next morning and was on his way to his next destination shortly after. In 2018, a YouTuber uploaded this video to his Lost channel, Lakes, in which he posted about his backcountry camping adventures in Canada. The video was taken at around 3 o'clock a.m. at a remote location west of Ontario, where, according to John, there was no cell phone signal. Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kinds pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night, and then around 3:30 I started to hear this pacing sound. And 45 minutes later, it's still pacing around out there. Considering he was camping in a remote Black Bear capital of the world, it's very likely that there was a bear or some other large animal outside. And although it's rare for bears to attack campers, it has been known to happen. Other animals such as moose can also pose a threat to campers if they ever feel threatened or provoked. And in those cases, a feeble camping tent won't offer a lot of protection. Against an angry 600-pound animal, it's much more common for people to be harassed by other people than by animals. But in this case, the footsteps don't sound very human. To maintain sanity, John shows his viewers the things on his camping trip to protect himself against animals, which include a hatchet bear spray and an air horn. Near the end of the video, he mentions his car is right outside the tent. He can't find his key and probably left it in the car. But in the end, he slept through the night safely. He never found out what exactly was walking around his tent that night. This first video comes to us from a TikTok account run by a woman named Ali, who decided to pull out her phone and record a video just for something to do to pass the time, while she and her friend were stuck in their car, as they had recently broken down while in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains. Throughout some portions of the video, we see Ali and her friend dancing and singing along to some music in the car, before Ali eventually decides to step outside of the vehicle, which proves to be a gigantic mistake, as you'll see in just a couple of seconds here. I don't know freaking more. Oh, what are we gonna do? I don't know, I guess we'll have to walk to the square. To the square, to the square, to the square, to the square. What we do, what's that? Do you hear that? Yeah, we better get back in the car. Yeah, we better. Oh, that was a lot. Why is the car? How do you fix this? She scared me. Oh my God, okay. Haha. Did it lock? No. What's the deal, this car? I don't understand. I don't know how to unlock it for me. Something weird has happened with this car. What the hell is going on? After only a couple of seconds walking around the car outside, a mysterious deep man's voice can be heard shouting "Hey" from somewhere nearby. But they don't seem to be too frightened by this and continue to pace around outside for a few beats before eventually trying to get back into the car. But the alarm is now going off. Eventually, though, the two girls manage to get back inside the vehicle, and it's here in which they find themselves at the sense of yet another scare that they can't quite explain. Watch this. Something weird has happened with this car. What the hell is going on? Oh. Let's see if it starts. It started. Waiting for connection. Bluetooth connection success. What was that? Ashley, I do not like this. Oh my God, let's get out of here. Go. Does it run? Is it working? Yes, it is. It's working. Thank God. A mysterious series of knocking noises can be heard on the car's exterior, even though nobody can be seen outside whatsoever. Thankfully, the two girls manage to drive off into the night and make it out of the area perfectly safe. But it makes you think, what could have possibly happened to them had they not managed to start their car? According to this TikTok user, if you guys ever find yourself stuck in the Appalachian Mountains, here are some tips for staying safe. First, if you hear somebody shouting your name, you should ignore it at all costs. This bone-chilling video was posted to the Haunted subreddit by use known as the Clownin, a subreddit that is dedicated to hosting paranormal news, strange occurrences, sightings, and other phenomena related to haunted places or ghostly experiences. The footage in question was filmed on home security camera in the middle of the day, and for the first couple of seconds seems to be just a random, unexciting video of nothing going on inside. Typical home. However, it doesn't take long for this seemingly innocent video to be flipped on his head. Take a look at the door in particular, right about here, and see if you notice anything unusual. Out of nowhere, a mysterious person can be seen moving along the wall before it seemingly vanishes into thin air. Just a couple of seconds after, it can be seen on camera. The person who uploaded the video to says Reddit that the video was not filmed by him, but rather a trusted member of his family, which he says makes the whole thing a lot scarier to him. To this day, this strange video has not been solved, and the Reddit user doesn't have any theories as to what could be going on here either. Let's just hope that this family can come together and figure out this strange mystery before it gets the better of them. Over on the paranormal subreddit, a user writes about his experience with something ghostly recently, as well as an accompanying video that is guaranteed to make the hairs on your neck stand up okay. So it's doing it again. That switch down there is on. You see it past my shaking. This one is on okay. It's Mom. See what I mean? It's... You can hear it, you. Mom. Nope. For additional backstory, the uploader's brother found himself alone at their mom's house, presumably checking on their dog Oscar, while their mom and stepdad were at work. The hallway light began flickering on and off, prompting the brother to start recording in hopes of capturing the strange phenomenon. Upon reviewing the footage multiple times, the uploaders left perplexed, believing that there might be something happening beyond the understanding. Despite living in the house for over 2 years, the uploader had missed a sensing strange vibes, but had never personally witnessed such occurrences. The hallway lights controlled by 2 switches, one near the brother and another at the end of the hallway. In the video, viewers can see the light tackling on and off, with the switch visibly moving on 2 occasions. The first instance shows the switch moving halfway down, and occurrence deemed highly unusual by the uploader. The second instance is more pronounced, with the switch slamming down, prompting the brother to swiftly vacate the area. The uploader seeking the opinions and thoughts of others on the video, curious about the interpretations, especially since their mother still resides in the house and recounts similar eerie experiences. The video's quite weird and creepy, and it's definitely something I would not want to experience in my house. In fact, if this were to happen to most people, I think it would be their sign to start looking for a new home, move into the very next day, and for good reason. Hopefully, if this place does turn out to be haunted by something, the uploader will be able to get a new place to live, where he doesn't have to worry about being visited by this strange presence. Reddit user known as Maximus Killer posted a strange and unsettling video to the ghosts operated recently that will make you afraid to go to sleep with the lights off. The footage in question was filmed outside by a home security camera that was set up by the homeowner, and initially the video appears to be mundane and uninteresting, but that changes rather quickly when this happens out of nowhere. Suddenly, a transparent figure seems to scream before vanishing into thin air, much to the confusion and terror of the uploader when he reviewed the footage at a later date. The video still quite new, so it shouldn't come as a big surprise that the mystery has not been solved yet, but we can only hope that it's a matter of time. If the video does turn out to be real, and this is a legitimate ghost that appears in the footage, then it seems as if this is videographic that even paranormal entities need to get their cardio. In 2021, Matt Field spent the night in the middle of nowhere in Australia. Has told him about an unsettling experience that dared him to spend the night there alone. Matt's channel is a bit more extreme outdoor exploration channels, and his videos often feature leaving civilization behind and going to remote locations for days, living only off the fish in the animals he hunts in the video. He mentions that he didn't bring any water to the trip, hoping to find water to drink in the cave. After about 4 hours of walking, he finally finds the cave and climbs down the man-made ladder inside. Venturing deeper inside the cave, crawls into the different holes to see if any of them lead anywhere. Around this time, he started hearing rocks falling near the entrance and the sound of some sort of animal walking around. At one point in the video, he mentions he feels like he's being watched, and things get a little more disturbing. At around 11 when he begins to eat his baked beans for dinner. That is beautiful baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my God, that was the sound. That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms. I got full goosebumps. It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder. It's a big, heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that. Holy. When Matt recorded this video, it wasn't a windy night at all, and the fact that the chain is moving can only mean that there's someone or something down there with him. That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving now. You can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind. There's no wind even fork up. Holy. Oh my God. You must have heard that descent. Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this fucked. Okay, I've got my backpack back on, and I'm booting on Nadia. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound. I'm not gonna lie, I've been. It's probably about 2 hours. 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys. So it would be around 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the morning. And that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here. After the creepy noises subside, he changes his mind about leaving and decides to spend the rest of the night near the entrance. A couple of hours later, he reported hearing hissing sounds. That sounded like human voices. But after walking around the cave, he couldn't find anything that could be making those noises. Aside from big animals, the worst thing that could have happened is to have come across the hostile squad or living in the cave, although it's unclear why anyone would want to live down there. Fortunately, he made his way out as soon as the sun rose and never went back to that cave again. Sleepovers are fun gatherings where often children or teenagers stay overnight at someone else's house. They're a way for friends to spend extended time together, typically involving lots of fun activities. But you most certainly wouldn't expect to come across something paranormal when you're at a friend's house for a sleepover. Would you? While this video by TikTok user 1150 shows that you might want to be on the lookout for that. In the video, the upload can be heard getting audibly frightened by something, at which point does his best to wake up a sleeping friend, although it was difficult to do so. Eventually, the uploader gets his friend out of bed, and it's here in which some truly bizarre noises can be heard. Have a listen. I then get up. Get up, get up. You're here, listen. Wow. On. The train. Touch that door. That baby boy. I'm getting out of this room. I can't sleep and hear this shit. The uploader gets up to check his closet, probably expecting the source of the noise to be coming from there, because that's where it sounded the closest. But he discovers that there is nobody inside. A second video that was posted shows the uploader wandering around the house just a little bit more, perhaps not wanted to give up his investigation, wanting instead to put an end to the terrorist he's been facing. In the footage here, the uploader can be seen slowly opening a door on his house and peering in. Watch this. Hey guys, I think this might be the last time. Okay. Okay. Lingering in the darkness, a terrifying figure can be seen looming in the room if you turn the brightness up. It takes the upload a couple of seconds to notice this, but when he does, he closes the door instantly and locks before the video ends it properly, leaving us all to wonder what happened next. Who was this strange and creepy visitor that was in the room? Did it mean the uploader and his friend any harm? Thankfully, it seems as if the uploader is okay, but I think it's safe to say that this incident ruined sleepovers for him and his friend forever. This next video comes to us from a man named Rusty Tucker, who uploaded the chilling footage to his YouTube channel on July 4th, 2016. After watching the video, you'll definitely never want to step foot in a cemetery again. Rusty visited the Evergreen Cemetery in Judsonia, Arkansas, to investigate the legend of the ghost mother. In the early 1900s, a young mother had a baby disappeared near the cemetery. She searched the cemetery for several days and nights and was found dead in its midst. She was buried where she was discovered, and it's rumored that her ghost still wanders the cemetery in search of a baby. Rusty visited the night before. He filmed and heard some eerie sounds of crying and moaning. He was too scared to leave the truck, so he returned later with his drone to film from the air. This is what he found. Did you see it if you look carefully? You should be able to make out what appears to be some kind of a ghost crouching down beside this tombstone, staring at the camera ominously before it eventually decides to stand up and move away from the camera's line of sight. Amazingly, Rusty has the bravery to run out for the ghost to see if he can chase it, but it's no longer anywhere to be seen. At the end of the video, Rusty explains that he had plans to go back to the cemetery to investigate this situation a little bit more down the road. However, no such video was ever published on his channel, and seeing as how this video is 8 years old, at this point, I think it's safe to assume that he won't be making that return visit after all, but who knows, maybe it's for the best.